Welcome back, Cryptonauts, to another episode of Cryptocurrency Chat. I'm your host, Jake Jabarelli, with my co-host, ironically, Blockchain John. How's it going, John?
Hey. All good, buddy. All good. This weekend, I went over to Hacker Dojo for the second time. I went to go they had a nice little show and tell. Lot of. It's just like it's a nonprofit organization of a bunch of entrepreneurs in tech just trying to get started, and they can't really rent out their own office, so they it's kind of like what is that, like WeSpace? I forgot what that place is called, where a lot of people just meet up and kind of pay a small little fee just to use a centralized location. Yeah, like Workspace. WeWorks. Yeah. But this is like non-profit, right? Mm-hmm. So I got a chance to talk to a lot of people out there, and it's fun, man. It's just fun meeting up with people that are just so passionate, have a vision, man. Like, there's just so much positive energy in that. I just like hanging out with people like that. So that's what I did on Friday. Saturday, went out. It was nice weekend. Had finally a weekend back in the States. First week done of work. All right.
Cool.
I'm back on it.
Good. Sounds like you had a very productive week time this week. It's been a struggle for me with coins I've been mining. I really don't want to get into the gory details, as it were. It's not been that fun. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. DYMO is different now. Not necessarily bad, but not necessarily good either. And I think I understand why, because ASICs are evil. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, so, is that what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, the gist of it is that in order to prevent ASICs from getting on the network altogether, they have to keep changing the algorithm a lot, and that's making it difficult for the GPUs to keep up, rather. And it is really.
I thought it was supposed to be like an auto algo switch. So as long as you had your GPU utilizing a script code, it should auto change to the newest.
That's exactly what happens. But the problem with that, of course, is that it causes a lot of shifting within the GPU itself, and that makes it difficult, much more difficult than it was. Like when DYMO started up, it was really easy, and of course that's what led to those initial changes in December, where the guy started manipulating the algo to make it basically work on FPGAs, and founders like, no, we don't want to do that. So he took the last 3 months to try to figure out a way to basically prevent FPGAs and ASICs from joining the network ever, and making it only, pretty much only GPU. It's optimized GPU at this point. It's not optimized for CPUs anymore. CPUs are pretty much useless. I mean, you can use them. Like really good AMD, really high end, like 5950 AMDs can still work on it, but or Epics, but nothing like an Intel. Intels don't work on it anymore, unfortunately. So yeah, I've been dealing out this last week. It's not been fun. In fact, honestly, even though it may not be obvious, I'm slightly under the weather at the moment because of my immense amount of time I've been spending.
Sounds like it, man.
So.
Sounds like you're drained, man.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely definitely the case. And on Friday,
some caffeine.
Caffeine's not going to make a difference at this point. So, anyways, let's just get on to the price, the values of coin as they stand in this last couple of seconds, because I keep refreshing. The market's it's kind of down at the moment. It's been up and down over the last 3 or 4 days, but keeps going slightly further down. I don't know what the reason for that is. There's no way of knowing the market itself. So out in top position as always is Bitcoin, currently 39,520.05. Down slightly, 3.2% probably 2.3% over the last 7 days. The market cap is $751.7 billion. In second place, Ethereum, currently 29.4232, 4.1% down in the last week, and a market cap of $354.5 billion. Tether, stablecoin, is currently at $1, as it always is. No change in the last week, and an $83.1 billion market cap. And also, as I've been mentioning lately, The 24-hour volume on Tether it's pretty low right now. It's only about 35.3 billion in the last 24 hours. That's pretty low. We've seen it as high as 100 billion before. So BNB currently in fourth position at 400.67, down about the same amount as Ethereum, 4% in the last week, to a market cap of 67.4 billion. USD coin, the fifth position and also stablecoin, currently at, as it always is, $1 or close to it, and a market cap of 49.9 billion. Ripple XRP, currently in sixth position at 0.699 US dollars, and a drop of 10% over the last week, currently at $33.6 billion market cap. Solana is in seventh position at exactly $100, almost exactly $100. $100.07, at 2.2% drop, and a $33.3 billion cap, very close to XRP as it has been following it lately. Terra is in eighth position, 91.17, 12% gain, one of the highest in the top 10. It's really going up there. It's probably poised to overtake Solana, currently $31.8 billion. Cardano, currently ninth position at 0.886, a 7% drop, and a $28.4 billion cap. And rounding out the top 10 is Polkadot, currently at 1822, 2.4% drop, and $20.1 billion market cap. And as I have always mentioned in the past, interestingly enough, Dogecoin has been kicked out of 12th position, and the stablecoins have taken over. So we currently have Avalanche, Terra USD, Binance USD, and then Dogecoin, followed by Shiba Inu. So Dogecoin has dropped almost 10%. Wow. To fall underneath the current market cap values of Terra USD and Binance USD. Not that surprising that stablecoins themselves are owning the top 15. So we have two major stablecoins, the top, in the third and fifth position, and now two more stablecoins in the 12th and 13th positions.
So after looking at this, I guess my only assumption, because I was trying to figure out what is going on with the BTC dominance. Now it's under 39%, currently at 38.9%. And I could only assume that the reason that it's losing its dominance is because of the stablecoins having a larger market cap as they continue to be adopted and become more popular among the masses. Unless you have another opinion.
No, the problem with stablecoins obviously keep your coin stable, and right now, even though the market isn't very unstable, it is still going downward slightly. So people seem to trust in stablecoins temporarily when the market is not doing what they wanted to do.
Well, it's kind of a bummer to see the dominance go down, BTC dominance. But hey, it is what it is. It's the market.
Yeah, currently Gwei is pretty low on Ethereum. Making transactions on Ethereum is actually not very expensive right now, fortunately. Of course, if you're doing smart contracts, it can still be very costly. Current crypto market cap, the entire global market cap is 1.93 trillion US dollars, down 1% over the last 24 hours. And then if you haven't already, click on the candy icon to collect your candies. I'm not currently logged into this browser, but if you haven't, please remember to collect your candies and get the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, or 100 candies after you've done it 7 days in a row.
Ooh, there's something new here.
You can pick up savings off of certain services, as well as NFTs, and in some cases books. And just so you know, in July they're going to do the CoinGecko 2022 con with a lot of different speakers. It's about $60 advanced purchases. I'm still kind of weirded out by the fact that you can't purchase it with candies. You'd think, why not? If you had enough candies, why wouldn't they just let you buy the ticket?
They got to make a little bit of money off of it. A little bit of money.
Well, they have sign up. You can sign up for $50 or $100 per year to get additional features from CoinGecko. So. Anyways.
All right. Should I hit up the CoinTree?
Yeah. CoinTree? Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. My bad.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Cryptonauts, of course, you can check us out on YouTube. Some of you guys are. Some of you are on Anchor or any other podcast platforms. And we got so many of them out there. Couldn't even tell you them all right now. You can join us in Discord and hang out with us right over here, like I am. We got an economy over here. You guys can work for some C3 coins like I'm about to show you. Bing, there you go. You can work, do daily. We have some awesome games. Let's see here. Do this, do and then battle all. And I can actually, oops, I did that wrong. BT all. And this was literally just
Wait,
battling.
you're doing something different than what I'm seeing. What are you doing right now, Don?
Oh, sorry. I'm over in Anagame. I'm in Club C3 doing C3 economy.
Oh, right,
Just
right.
showing the viewers here live what's what in Discord. Yeah, of course. Obviously, we have YouTube, Discord. We have Twitter. Hang out with us on Twitter. We do have a Patreon. You guys can help support the channel by with Patreon, right?
Yep.
We are rebuilding our website, and with that said, we got a bunch of referral links. And if you just want to help donate via crypto, we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Raven, BAT, Litecoin, Monero, and a bunch of stablecoins. With that said, we are set to go over to the news.
Yep.
Back to you.
All right. So the first news that we're going to talk about is from Jay Zong. American investors led in crypto gains in 2021 report. Oh, let me make a change here quick to this. There we go. Sorry about that. 2021 was a wild year for the crypto market. Major assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum hitting all-time highs and attracting an unprecedented amount of institutional investment. Throughout the entire year, investors worldwide took a total profit of $162.7 billion in crypto, a five-fold increase from just the $32.5 billion in 2020. American investors led by a considerable margin of an estimated $47 billion gains ahead of investors from any other country, which is the reason I found that article we read earlier that only 10% of Americans own crypto. That to be a little strange. Meanwhile, emerging markets demonstrated a substantial growing interest in adopting cryptocurrencies and seeing such an economic opportunity. From Chainalysis methodology, blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis relied upon its transaction and web traffic data to conduct graphic analysis on cryptocurrencies and investors' behavior. First, the firm estimated the total gains made on each asset by studying data on holdings deposited to and withdrawn from exchanges. Secondly, by analyzing web traffic distributed among different geographical regions on each exchange, the firm managed to estimate the total gains of digital assets by separating them into countries. However, due to the decentralized nature of blockchain technology, the firm admitted that the data was not perfect, only including information from exchanges, and thus ideally should include a calculation on the, quote, the gains of the individual or wallet, since we can't prove where people actually live. According to Chainalysis' report, developed countries like America, the UK, and Germany were the top three nations in terms of realized crypto gains. Though China introduced an all-sweeping ban on the industry in 2021, the country still ranked fifth with the estimated realized digital asset gains of up to $5.1 billion, and an annual growth hitting 194%. In comparison, the United States, for instance, attained year-over-year growth of 8.1 billion to 47 billion, which is like 500%, or more actually, 600%. The report also noted that emerging economies whose collective gains in digital assets had outperformed their worldwide GDP rankings may have chosen the asset class as a reaction to domestic inflation, just like El Salvador, right? Another critical point, as indicated in the document, is that Ethereum thrived in 2021, edging out Bitcoin total realized gains globally at 76.3 billion to 74.7 billion, as more people have taken profits in ETH than in Bitcoin. This was particularly attributed to the rise of DeFi, as Ethereum functioned as a primary currency for the majority of such such activities and protocols. Additionally, the second largest blockchain is the main driving force behind the rapidly growing NFT industry. Yes, a lot of people foolishly use Ethereum for NFTs, in my opinion.
Why is it so foolish?
Because
Ethereum
it's so
is one of the
expensive to
largest.
transact anything. You can do it on Solana, or you can do it on Tron, or you can do it on EOS. There's so many other great chains out there that can't cost anywhere near as much as they do on Ethereum.
Got
I think Polychain, right? Polygon or Matic. A great place to do transactions. In fact, a lot of people have moved their Ethereum to wrapped Poly because it's so much cheaper to do ERC 721 transactions on Poly than it is to do on ETH.
Yeah. It's still a smart contract. What about Ravencoin? Ravencoin is a UTXO asset creator where you can just do it directly off the blockchain instead of using a smart contract.
Exactly.
That's a good way to go.
Exactly. No, and this is the one thing that if you look at what to mine says that the next most profitable chain right now after Ethereum is Raven, which means that when Ethereum goes fully proof of stake, Raven is in the top position to become the next highly mined coin.
Because it's proof of work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the proof of work that will never go away from being proof of work. It will always be proof of work, just like Bitcoin.
That's what that's what guarantees a lot of these miners to just switch over their algos to.
In fact, if anything, I think the reason that Raven has picked up so much popularity as of late is because people who have older cards that can't mine Ethereum anymore are mining Raven right now.
Yeah. Nice.
Because Ethereum,
all right.
if you have under a 8 gig card, you cannot use Ethereum, which means
8 gigs. Oh my god, that's a lot.
4 gig card or 2 gig or 1 gig can still do Raven. So next step, criminalizing rug pulls thing from.
What's the next one? 7best non-custodial wallets.
No, the criminalizing rug pulls article.
Criminalizing. There it is, way down here.
Yeah.
All right, this one's written by George Georgiev. Criminalizing rug pull. Senator Kevin Thomas proposes new regulation. Rug pulls have grown to become a menace in the space of decentralized finance and have resulted in hundreds of millions stolen from users. Yes, I've been one of those guys, unfortunately. Not stealing. I've been stolen from. Yeah.
Yes.
Being amongst the most common types of scams, some U.S. politicians have taken aim and want to outlaw them. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
State Senator, what was it?
Exactly.
Yeah. State Senator Kevin Thomas and Assembly Member Clyde Vanel has introduced Senate Bill S8839. The bill calls for penalizing, defining, and criminalizing frauds that are specifically targeted at developers and projects designed to dupe cryptocurrency investors. These include, but are not limited to, virtual token fraud, rug pulls, private key fraud, as well as fraudulent failure to disclose an interest in virtual tokens. And that's where I got caught up on. For further context, a rug pull is a term used to define a type of scam where the team behind a project runs with investors' funds by draining the liquidity of the trading pool and essentially leaving holders with illiquid tokens that can't be sold. Yeah, that sucks. Always pay attention when you get into a crypto. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, this crypto is so affordable." Yeah, but is there liquidity in that token? Is there an actual market?
But not just a question of affordability, because you get a lot of coins for nothing, but don't just get in because of the hype. Just because there's hype, this is the total thing. It comes to, what was it, fear of missing out?
FOMO.
FOMO, right. Don't FOMO into something just because it's super popular. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good. So that was what the Squid Game token was, where people got screwed.
Oh yeah.
So like, oh my gosh, I got to get into this. Yeah, within a week it was gone. Yeah, sorry.
It literally tanked to zero.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, hey, everybody, hey, we're all human beings. We all go through that once or twice, maybe 3 times like me.
A fool and his money are soon parted. The axiom still holds true today.
The bill aims to introduce a threshold of 10% for developers to sell within 5 years from the date of the last sale. A developer, whether natural or otherwise, is guilty of illegal rug pulls when such developers develops a class of virtual tokens and sell more than 10% of such tokens within 5 years from the date of the last sale of such tokens. Well, good luck. I want to look at the bill. Let's actually, you know what? Can I click on that? Let's see. Where's it at? I'm kind of curious. I'm opening up the link directly. I want to see what it says.
I opened it too.
Let's see. This is a title bill enacted to amend a penal law in relation to establishing certain offenses related to cryptocurrency fraud. Purpose of general ideas of bill establishes certain offenses relating to crypto fraud. Summary of specification provisions. 191 provides important definitions. Okay, let's scroll on down. Let's scroll on down to following meaning. 1. Virtual tokens shall mean security tokens. Scrolling down some more. Wait, that was it? I guess let's open this up. The value of such, this is on 8839, the value of such class of virtual tokens is determined by the supply and demand of virtual tokens, and such class as virtual tokens are not pegged to external sources, whether or not such external sources is volatile, are pegged to another virtual token, or such class of virtual token do not employ technology which prevents large fluctuations in its price, and such technology fails to prevent the same. What? I don't even know what I just read. Stablecoin.
It's very legalese speak. It's just trying to be as clear as possible without being overtly wordy. That's the problem with legal speak, is it's trying to stay generic while still being specific, which is hard to do. So,
well, there it is. So if you guys want to check it out, you guys can go to the nysenate.gov/legislation/bills/2021/S883.
yeah, the link is actually in this article, so you can check out the rug pull link for further context in George Georgiev's article. Anyways, continuing on with the news about Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu launches Shib burning portal. That sounds bad, doesn't it? What does this mean? From George Georgiev as well. The team behind one of the most popular Doge-inspired meme coins, Shiba Inu, or Shib, has launched a burning mechanism. That just sounds like you need preparation H for it. That allows holders to burn their tokens while generating passive income. Yes, that's just the point. Shiba Inu Burning Portal is a functionality that enables users to send their Shib tokens to a burn address. This is a wallet from which Shib will no longer be retrievable, meaning that once tokens are sent there, they can never be retrieved again. They're going to be gone forever. This effectively introduces a mechanism that allows for a reduction of the total circulating supply, making the tokens scarcer or more scarce. This, in theory, can benefit investors. A scarce asset tends to be more preferred compared to one with unlimited supply, like Ethereum, or considerable rates of inflation. Of course, all of this is entirely theoretical, and there's nothing guaranteed. Fixed or reducing supply doesn't necessarily translate to increased value, meaning that the outcome of a burning portal is yet to be seen. Now, Cake does this. Cake does burn cake on a regular basis. So, the team's reasoning behind the portal has been partially incentivized by a strong community push in this direction. Quote, Shiba Inu community, or commonly known as nicknamed by the Sheep Army, has been quite vocal and providing ongoing feedback that would relate to creating a systematic method in which scarcity can increase, that is by burning, while pushing the potential to grow the community's wealth in their investment, reads the official website. To reward users who decide to burn their tokens, the team provides an incentive in the form of a potential passive income source. Those who burn Shib will receive a token called burnt Shib, literally. The owners of the latter will receive rewards in Ryoshi tokens. Ryoshi is an anonymous creator of Shiba Inu project. 0.49% of all Ryoshi transactions will be distributed to the owners of burnt Shib tokens. To verify and double check the Shiba Inu burn mechanism, anyone can check the smart contract here, and there's a link to it. So, yeah.
Explain that to me. I don't quite understand.
Setting your Shib on fire.
So, but how do you? So, you
it's an incentivization,
are these like nodes,
right?
or
It's an incentivization. They're giving you another. It's just like DeFi, right? They're like, hey, if you burn tokens, we'll give you another token that'll have a different value for having done it.
okay? But the question is, the more tokens you burn, is it the more you get in return? The more burnt Shib?
Yeah, the Ryoshi, they'll give you more tokens based on your burning of Shib. It obviously it's the same thing. It's like I said, it's the same thing as DeFi with DeFi pools or farms rather. By putting your liquidity up of these two tokens you've paired together, they'll give you another token for having done that. And so the same thing goes for this. If you burn tokens, they'll give you a proportional number of Ryoshi tokens.
So why are they doing this?
To keep Shib itself, because you're basically transferring it to a different token, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But you're keeping
So
it out
almost
of Shib.
sounds.
you're keeping it out of Shib, because Shib and Ryoshi are different, right? So as long as Shib is small, maybe Ryoshi can become big, but they're keeping the two fiat, or not fiat, the two currencies separate.
So you're almost being so this almost sounds like an IFO to me.
Oh yeah.
Like what Pancake does, Pancake Swap
Yeah,
does.
kind of. Yeah,
It's
that's
like
why
you.
that's why I was comparing it to DeFi. So
Okay. But this is kind of like you're being forced, or I guess maybe you can just do it voluntarily.
of
But
course you can. It's all voluntary. They're not making anybody
yeah.
burn. So
Eh. Yeah.
well, I mean,
Alright.
one of the ways that Cake burned Cake tokens was by doing their the lottery. Remember? I think Pancake Swap
Yeah,
still
yeah.
does have the lottery, and obviously, if you don't win, then the tokens that you spent are burned.
Yeah.
So, but that
Yep.
in that sense, it's a chance game, and you might or might not win. So there's still something to potentially be gained from it. In this case, they're actually giving you a direct payment. Like, yes, we will give you something of value. Of course, that value could change too, right? So there's still some risk in it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Alright,
continuing
next
on with
one,
the
written
Central
by
Bank of Mexico.
written by Felix Molin. The Central Bank of Mexico will launch its CBDC in 3 years. On April 21st, Victoria Rodriguez Cejas, governor of the Bank of Mexico, Banexico, during a hearing before the Mexican Senate and the CBDC, MDBC, will be in circulation by 2025.
Awesome. Way
According
to go,
to
Mexico.
yeah, according to Rodriguez, the CBDC will enable greater financial inclusion for citizens while expanding existing payment options. They also expect to deploy new automation mechanisms to speed up payment processes. Quote, the digital currency seeks to generate means of payments aimed at financial inclusion, expand options for fast, secure, efficient, and interoperable payments in the economy, and implement complementary functionalities to the existing means of payments such as automation, mechanisms, programmability, and innovation. This would delay a little bit of previous scheduled shares by the central bank. On December 31st of 2021, Crypto Potato reported that the country had in mind 2024 as of the year to launch a CBDC. The announcement, however, gives the idea that Mexico's CBDC could support more services than just transmissions of value. Although Mexican President Manuel López Obrador ruled out the possibility of adopting Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency as legal tender in the country, Mexico's own central bank is now seeking to give them greater legalities through regulation. Rodriguez said that Banxico and other central bank groups were studying the possibility of regulating the use of cryptocurrencies in the country to protect citizens when making their transactions, since such transactions are not protected nor regulated by the Bank of Mexico. Quote, several central bank groups in which Banxico participates are reviewing the issue of regulation so as to further protect those participating in the financial system, end quote. This means that even though Mexico is launching its own digital currency, very different from a cryptocurrency, the country does not want to be left behind in terms of regulation of the broader crypto industry, which would also help the government to collect more taxes, as it happens in other countries such as Spain, United States, and Brazil. The governor of Banxico clarifies that the bank's favorable position towards a future regulations of crypto industry. However, she emphasized that cryptocurrencies are very different from CBDCs because of their decentralized nature, which allows citizens to have full control of their money.
Yeah.
Sure. She clarified, however, that the advantage of a CBDC is that they are backed by the government. As CBDCs are just a digital expression of the fiat money we all know and use. On the other hand, she added that this new CBDC is not intended to replace the traditional currency or the bank notes in circulation. Still, it would be a strategic alternative to the current means of payments. The Bank of Mexico is working closely with the Bank of International Settlements and to develop its CBDC. However, the road is not easy. There's a lot of work ahead. Recently, the pro-Bitcoin senator Indira Kempis introduced a bill to include a CBDC into the legal system, paving a way for successful implementation. Okay, Now, there's so many nations out there creating their own CBDCs, and it's cool in a way, but it's scary in another way. And I think we talked about the the two sides of the sword, right? You got the good side that you're bringing people into the crypto space, you're bringing the masses to the crypto space, but at the same time, when you're creating a CBDC, a centralized digital currency backed by banks. I mean, the whole reason Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin was to try to detach people and give them their freedom back away from governments and banks, because banks and governments around the world own everything. They own your existence from the moment you're born to the moment you die. When Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin, this gave people the opportunity to be free and be able to do transactions from peer to peer. Now banks are jumping into the space, creating their own coin, saying, "Hey, you have the privilege of using this coin, but it's only a privilege until you get either you create some sort of a crime, or you just have bad social credit, and then you get your tokens frozen." It's there's no difference from what's going on now with centralized banks. The CBDC is going to be the same exact thing. So it's nice that they're bringing people into the space of crypto, but scary and terrifying knowing that if this is the dominant thing going around the world, there's going to be no difference in the next 5 to 10 years where banks and governments own everything once again, especially the crypto space, which they're veering to. The World Economic Forum just had a meeting. What was it, last year? Last year, talking about the Great Reset, and a lot of that has to do with adopting blockchain protocol. And coincidentally, all of a sudden now we have a bunch of nations around the globe now working on creating their CBDCs. Which, here we go with Mexico again. Yeah.
Exactly. You said there are two sides to this coin, or the sword in the case. There cuts both ways. It is both practical and impractical depending upon your perspective, and if your government doesn't like you for whatever reason, the way that the Chinese government is currently trying to put its hand around the necks of its citizens by saying, "Hey, we're giving you this great tool, but remember, we can fuck you whenever we want to."
Now, let me just add a little earmark to that. Now, El Salvador is probably the only nation that did it the right way. Well, it's not 100% right, but at least they veered more towards the right way than any other nation out there. They adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. That to me is what it should have been to all these other nations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the same time, it also gives the government some control over Bitcoin, to some degree. They also made the wallet, which everyone has to. Well, not actually, no, they don't have to use it, but I watched a really great video, which I should probably put in the description so people can check it out. Is about a guy who journeyed to El Salvador, U.S. national, and explored how you can use Bitcoin through the wallet given by the country, sanctioned by the government, and how difficult it was for him to use his own wallet. He said the people there do trust the wallet that is given. What's the name of the wallet again? That El Salvador
Chivo wallet.
Chivo, right? So people trust the Chivo wallet because it was given to them by the government. They don't necessarily trust your wallet, even though it's the same coin. But the other thing is the Chivo wallet is really fast. So if it's lightning based, right?
Right.
If you use the Chivo wallet, you can pay, within seconds, and like you would with regular cash. And interestingly enough, because El Salvador was had used U.S. dollars as their primary currency, people are used to U.S. dollars, but they're also used to the quickness of that transaction. You give them the U.S. dollars, and that you get the service or the item. The Chivo wallet is just as fast, but if you try to use Bitcoin, it could easily take an hour to make a transaction. So, the host of the show tried using his own wallet, and half the places he went to didn't trust it. They're like, "Sorry, we don't use regular Bitcoin. Sorry, that doesn't work." Now, if you used a Lightning wallet instead of Chiva, maybe it would have worked. But he also said,
a lot of it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that it sounds like, I haven't watched the video. Please share it in Discord. I'll watch it later on.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're talking about El Salvador. El Salvador doesn't really, these mom and pop shops that are out there don't really have the money to convert your Bitcoin main chain to Lightning node off chain. That transaction is not really affordable to do. So if you're saying, hey, I will give you Bitcoin, it's like I'll be happy to take that, but I will not be able to convert it or even move it out of my wallet because the transaction fee is going to be so high.
Right.
It's not really worth it when you're paying, $1.50 for a stack of tacos.
Yeah.
Like the transaction fee is going to be worth more for me to either move it into off-chain Lightning wallet or just move it out of my wallet into Coinbase or Binance to convert it back into local
Oh yeah.
fiat.
Yeah. No, and the nice thing about Chiva Wallet in general is you can use the Bitcoin in Chiva Wallet to buy other things. So if you get paid into the Chiva Wallet, you can use that. But the thing we're trying to talk about here is the problem with that is that the government has control over the Chiva Wallet, which means if you are using it as your primary, in and out source of money, one, the government can see exactly what you're doing, and two, they can also, and they know who you are, they can also suddenly stop your Chiva Wallet, which still sounds weird to me, but I think the way they have to do it is by taking Chiva Wallet offline. And then you can't use it anymore, therefore meaning you couldn't access your coin. But technically, since the Chiva Wallet is technically an address and a wallet that is on the chain, you could get to it another way instead of having to go through Chiva itself.
I I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to speak on that. Here's a guess then. Here's a guess. My guess is every Chiva wallet out there in existence does not have private keys associated with them that are on local devices or through the app. They are being held by government, and the only way you can access those coins is being ported through an API call that is being hosted by the government entity.
Right, but I'm just saying because it's on Lightning chain and it's not on their own chain, you could technically still access it if you could get your private keys. Now, if you can't, you can't. But what I'm saying is
Yeah.
because it's actually an official coin chain, secondary chain, it is technically still accessible, even if they stop you from accessing Chiva. But and I'm not saying it couldn't happen. The president of El Salvador does seem pretty bent on keeping Bitcoin in because he's trying to make El Salvador something that people want to visit. And could he just spontaneously, for some whatever reason, decide to just suck up everybody's coin and say, "Sorry, you're now all my slaves"? He could. There's no guarantee that any country couldn't do that to you. It would be difficult to enforce, but if you had everybody's wallet in your hand, they're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So
That's the reason why Brian Armstrong and Jack Dorsey straight up said this is during the protest over in Canada. You guys, I was gonna say you guys. You recall that when they both came up saying, "Hey, when you buy coins on our exchange, please remove them immediately into your own private wallet, into your own wallet. Do not leave it on our exchange because if you do, there's always a chance that the government can go to them and take them down or force them to freeze these customers' accounts that are out there protesting."
right, yeah. So it's it's I don't know if it's annoying, but it's still somewhat recognizing that you need to get off the centralized exchange as quickly as possible if you want to maintain control over what you own. And this would be true. With your cash, you can put your cash in a bank, but now the bank has your cash, and they have although the rules of the land state that bank is at that time mandated to give you access to your money. If something changes in the rule of the land, because of martial law or something else, or they accuse you of doing something illegal that you did not do, you're SOL. You can't change that. That's in their hands. They have control over it. So the only way, as we're trying to say with this two-edged sword thing, the only way for you to control your money by yourself is to either hold on to it yourself, your cash, liquid or not otherwise, or to hold your coin in your personal possession at all times.
Beautifully said. Well, that's a good 2 Satoshis on the mark right there.
So, continuing on with other news in Vietnam by Dimitar Zanzarov. Vietnam Blockchain Union, or VBU, goes live, report says. The entity aiming to accelerate the adoption of blockchain technology and support cryptocurrency projects, Vietnam Blockchain Union, has reportedly seen the light of day. That is, it is available now. It was launched by the Vietnam Digital Communications Association, VDCA, in the capital of Hanoi. Vietnam has been gradually emerging as one of Southeast Asia's cryptocurrency hubs. The recent coverage reads that the authorities introduced the VBU, an organization that connects tech companies with crypto's underlying technology. It also provides consultancy to people and entities part of the digital asset ecosystem. The newly formed unit was formed by the Vietnam Digital Communications Association. Its president, Nguyen Minh Hong, believes blockchain technology and artificial intelligence are key factors in the fourth industrial revolution. Quote, with the ability to share information and data transparency in real time, sustainability, and with high security, blockchain has become one of the breakthrough technology trends with wide applicability in many sectors, including finance, health, education, intellectual property, logistics, entertainment, and agriculture. End quote. Addressing the initiative was also Dang Minh Tuan, chairman of the VBU. In his view, blockchain technology has the ability to turn Vietnam into a highly developed tech country. That would be amazing, honestly. Apart from all of its functions with the joint forces of the nation's authorities to design a comprehensive regulatory network for the local cryptocurrency industry. It is safe to say that digital assets and blockchain technology are on the rise in Vietnam, according to a study conducted by Chainalysis. The country ranked first in cryptocurrency adoption in 2020. The research included 154 nations, as Vietnam's neighbors, Thailand and China, were placed at 12th position. The world's leading economy, the USA, held 8th place. Earlier this year, the Vietnam Deputy Prime Minister Lee Minh-khai instructed local agencies to impose rules on the domestic crypto market. The rules supposed to execute this were the country's central bank and the Ministry of Finance, Justice, Information Communications. Nonetheless, the Ministry of Finance was appointed to spearhead the project. The upcoming regulation should see the management of cryptocurrency by investors and exchanges, and it will be formed in accordance with Decision 1255. The latter is an order issued in 2017 by Vietnam's Prime Minister, who urged the implementation of rules in the world of crypto. Yay! Vietnam and Korea are getting on board. Woohoo! I mean, personally,
that's always good.
Having known several people from Vietnam, one of my ex-girlfriends is Vietnamese, but she was born in Vietnam. And it's after, obviously, the Americans' conflict in Vietnam in the 60s and 70s, there was terrible, not just war crimes committed, but desolation to Vietnam. And Vietnam has not really really escaped the third world perspective it has been in since that, 40, 50 years ago time. And interestingly enough, at least my knowledge of Vietnam as far as the country's, economic progress is going, is that when China started kicking everybody out, a lot of people went to Vietnam because the next cheapest place in the world to go was Vietnam. So, currently the most exploited country for cheap labor is Vietnam. Used to be India, used to be Philippines, used to be China. Now it's Vietnam. So all the countries that were getting cheap labor out of China can no longer, they can still to some degree, but not as much as in Vietnam. So a lot of companies have gone to Vietnam because the rules are more lax there than they are in China. And China, of course, is trying to control their citizens, whereas Vietnam is not yet trying to do that. Not that I think they ever will, but they obviously have had their problems. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's great to see Vietnam coming up onto its own with cryptocurrency, and not at the forefront per se, but at least it's recognizing the value because it can break free. This is the one thing that bugs me most about China right now. And not to say the U.S. hasn't done this too, but China is really aggressive on it right now. And that is, China has been giving out gargantuan loans to nations that are poor. And then when those nations can't pay them back, China's like, we got you by the, gonads. We're going to squeeze and crush you and make you do whatever we want. And that's really, really wicked, in my opinion. Bitcoin, not necessarily CBDCs, but Bitcoin, the concept and cryptocurrencies in general, give those countries an ability to break that chain of oppression, no pun intended. So that they're not just owing China or owing the United States. They're actually independent to themselves. And so when I see Vietnam as a poor country doing this, I see it coming into its own and saying, F you to the bigger countries, we can live on our own, thank you very much. And I say this for any country, not just Vietnam. Vietnam's one of the examples of one of the poorest countries there are, even though, pardon me, it is a country that has a lot of industry in it because people are going there to exploit their workers. But it is a boon to the country to make it independent and not have to depend upon bigger countries for its assistance. So, yay.
So I'm live streaming on Twitch right now for the listeners on the podcast and viewers on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I'm showing on my screen here. I went on YouTube, typed in WEF, the Great Reset. You can do that as well. The World Economic Forum. About a year ago, this title's COVID-19, the Great Reset. Where, and by the way, these are not governments that are part of this World Economic Forum. They're more of just powerful individuals that are influencing governments around the world, making decisions on how or what's going to be happening to nations around the world in the coming years. Here's a quote that I wrote down. This is it's on my phone. I'm looking at my phone right now. But I'm going to read this. And I forgot who it was. It was from one of the speakers on this video here. This is a quote. It says, and we're seeing the world today, I think, is on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain.
I think it's important to make note that even though blockchain gives people and cryptocurrency itself gives people control of their own money, there's still going to be a level of control that individuals as well as nations will hold over other individuals with less money and or influence. And that is, you got a family and we're going to torture them if you don't do what we say, which of course is tyranny. That tyranny will not cease to exist just because Bitcoin becomes or not Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency, blockchain becomes the new currency. But people with influence and people with, ability to take action because of their wealth or power are still going to be in the world. Just because Bitcoin exists doesn't mean those things are going to go away. But it does at least keep people from being, you can still be held at, quote, gunpoint and forced to pay your Bitcoin over to someone else. Yeah. But they can't steal it from you without your permission. So this is one of the factors. As long as you keep the Bitcoin in your own personal possession, no one's going to be able to take it from you. I guess if you don't memorize your private key, which most people don't. Right. But
the reason I'm showing this, the Great Reset, is because, in my opinion, this is the reason why every single time we have an episode, we're always talking about a new nation adopting crypto, creating their CBDC, or just moving towards more digital currencies. I believe now that I've watched this, it makes absolute sense that these powerful individuals or group has influenced a lot of nations to really move towards that way now. Because it prior to this, it wasn't like that. Now it's like, it makes sense now. Watch this. Everybody should watch this. It's called The Great Reset, the World Economic Forum. All right, enough of that.
Yeah, on to the Stripe announces crypto payout on Twitter.
Okay, this one's written by Jay Zhuang.
Yep.
Stripe announces crypto payment on Twitter via the Polygon network. San Francisco-based fintech giant Stripe announced its latest advance in cryptocurrency by partnering with Twitter. According to the new pilot program, Stripe will let a small group of creators send and receive payments in USDC via its payment platform, Connect. Creators can thus directly manage their accounts details through the Stripe Express app. The company stated in a blog post that Twitter will be the first company to integrate the new payment method into monetization products. The media platform will allow creators to get their earnings on ticketed spaces and super follows immediately settled in cryptocurrency wallets. Quote, all crypto-related complexity and operations, end quote, will be handled by Stripe, so Twitter won't be in charge of storing and acquiring cryptocurrencies. The fintech firm picks the Polygon network to process all of the on-chain transactions for its strengths in low gas fees, high speed, broad wallet compatibility, and integrations with Ethereum. Creators who receive funds through the program can thus bridge their assets to Ethereum and exchange them quickly for other cryptocurrencies. Though the company only supports crypto payments in USDC for the time being, it assures the users that more chains and payout cryptocurrencies will be added to the platform in the future. The firm considers USDC's price stability as distinguishable from other cryptocurrencies primarily subject to high volatilities. As manifested in the blog post, Stripe is doubling down on its exposure in the crypto space. The firm says they plan to support crypto payouts in more than 120 countries by the end of the year. However, compared to its main competitors like Block, PayPal, and Visa, which had collaborated with numerous crypto firms and exchanges even before the digital assets soared in popularity, Stripe is regarded as late to the party. Last year, Stripe's CEO John Collison is already hinted that his company could re-enable cryptocurrency services soon after the giant had terminated Bitcoin services back in 2018 due to concerns over price volatility and transactional inefficiencies. After raising $600 million last year in a funding round, Stripe is currently valued at $95 billion. As of 2021, the unicorn processes $640 billion in payments, a 60% increase from the year before. Whoa! That's a big increase, man.
Yeah, that's a good chunk. It's interesting. I guess I can see why they would use USDC or Tether. I still don't particularly like it, although I realize that through Polygon Network you're not going to be paying the ridiculous fees that you will on Ethereum. I guess it's a factor of bigness and recognizability. People are like, oh yeah, USDC, everybody knows what that is, or Tether, oh yeah, everybody knows what that is. Okay, great. Why are we still using it? Well, can't we just do a different one? Or is it just because transaction levels are higher and therefore people know they can still do transactions through this network? So, I don't know. Why not use Solana? Why not use Tron? Why not use EOS? There's so many other options out there that are just as active. And it's still millions of dollars going through EOS and Tron. And even Polygon by itself. Why do you need Ethereum? So,
yeah.
And if
I'm with you
anything,
on
if
that.
you're going to be using something as big as Stripe or Block, right, then the popularity comes from those companies. Those companies themselves can make a different chain bigger. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's just weird to me. But like you said, it's not about intelligence. It's about popularity. Why do certain people win contests or win elections? Because everybody knows who they are. Not because they're good, not because they're smart, but because people know their name. All right, continuing on with Justin Sun. Or did you want to read this one?
No, go ahead.
All right, Justin Sun plans a Tron stablecoin with 10 billion of crypto collateral. That's a good chunk of change there, but he is pretty wealthy. Remember, he made the bid for Twitter against Elon Musk. I didn't know Justin Sun had so much money, but apparently he does. By Antonia Ishii. Tron founder Justin Sun has announced plans to launch a decentralized algorithmic stablecoin called USDD on the Tron blockchain network. That's cool, in my opinion. In an open letter on Thursday, April 21st, 2022, Sun revealed that USDD will be a fully decentralized stablecoin underpinned by mathematics and algorithms. Sounds very generic. According to the Tron founder, USDD will not rely on any centralized entity for storage, redemption, or management, but will be instead issued in a decentralized manner and will be pegged to Tron's native token TRX. An excerpt from the letter said, quote, when USDD's price is lower than 1 USD, users or arbitrageurs can send 1 USDD to the system and receive 1 USD worth of TRX. That's an actual US dollar, not USDC or USDT. When USDD's price is higher than 1 USD, users and arbitrageurs can send 1 USD worth of TRX to the decentralized system and receive 1 USDD. That's the way it keeps it balanced. Sun added that stablecoin's algorithm will maintain its stability against the US dollar despite market volatility. Furthermore, the open letter noted that Tron DAO Reserve will offer a risk-free interest rate of 30%, per annum. That's better than Valera. And it will provide custody service for $10 billion of highly liquid assets. The fund will, which will be raised from initiators of the blockchain industry, will act as a reserve to keep the stability of USDD. While the cryptocurrency assets are not mentioned, the plan seems similar to Do Kwon, co-founder and CEO of Terraform Labs, who is looking to purchase $10 billion worth of Bitcoin as a reserve for UST. Meanwhile, Sun announced that the Tron-based USDD is expected to be issued and circulated beginning on May 5th, that's Cinco de Mayo. The decentralized stablecoin will be available on Ethereum and BNB chain via the BTTC cross-chain protocol. Cool. Awesome. I'm glad to see that we're going for a true decentralized stablecoin, finally.
That's what you were talking about, right? You were talking not so long ago. You were talking about that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just glad we're doing it finally. So, it's obviously similar to someone else's idea, the Terraform Labs idea, but it's good to see that Justin is trying to do something new with what he has capabilities of doing. That's good for the economy and for, well, I should say crypto economy. Hopefully that new, I mean, think about it. Let's see, if we go back to cryptocurrency prices, where is a $10 billion asset going to sit? $10 billion is currently around 17th position with Lido Stake Ether and Near Protocol and Wrap Bitcoin. That's about $10 billion.
Ooh, here's an article on read. It's right underneath. It's on April 22nd. It's called Russians Plans to Use Digital Ruble for International Settlements. Did you see that one?
No, I did not.
Oh, that's got to be interesting, right? Let's
22nd.
see what's going on here. This one's on April 22nd. Russia's central bank recently... Let me enlarge this here.
I got it. I found it.
Okay. Russia's central bank recently said that it is looking to begin a pilot for the digital ruble next year, with plans to use the central bank digital currency for international payments. According to a Reuters report, the government of the Bank of Russia, Elvira Nabulina, speaking to the lower house of parliament, asserted that the central bank is preparing to start real-world digital ruble transactions in 2023. Nabulina also said, quote, "The digital ruble is among the priority projects. We have fairly quickly created a prototype. Now we are holding tests with banks, and next year we will gradually have pilot transactions." Wow. Russia has now been working towards developing a CBDC for more than a year. The central bank launched a prototype of the digital ruble platform in December 2021, with 12 commercial banks signaling interest in participating in the pilot program. 3 out of the 12 banks connected to the platform, with 2 completing digital ruble transfers between clients via mobile banking applications in February 2022. Apart from the digital ruble projects, Nabulina said Russia is looking at expanding the numbers of countries that accept the organization's MIR banking cards. MIR is a local alternative payment systems to the Visa and MasterCard, with both companies having suspended operations in Russia after the Ukraine invasion. As previously reported by Crypto Potato, the ruble's value plummeted after certain Russian banks were cut off from financial messaging giant SWIFT. Meanwhile, the latest development comes as Russia is being slammed with various economic sanctions. In the early days of the invasion of Ukraine, there were calls for cryptocurrency exchanges to stop servicing Russia users, but quite a few refused at first. The United States has also kept an eye on Russia to see if the country would use crypto to circumvent financial sanctions. In March, the U.S. Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, Wally DYMO, and Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, warned exchanges against aiding Russia to avoid sanctions. Recently, Binance announced that it will limit its services in Russia, in line with European Union now sanctions. According to the cryptocurrency exchange giant, the platform will only service Russian nationals or natural persons residing in Russia or legal entities established in Russia that have crypto assets exceeding the value of 10,000 euros. Interesting.
Actually, I can see this being a boon to Russia, obviously, keeping their economy. But the thing that's interesting as an overall factor is how countries can continue to exist if they figure out some way, obviously, to live on their own. Thinking in particular of North Korea. North Korea does have a trade, faction or trade function with China. They do trade with China. They may not trade with the rest of the world, but they do have a way of trading. And I would caution, in fact, I would probably warn in the sense of saying you should definitely not use the Russia, CBDC coin at all. Because we already know what Russia's willing to do, and the thing that's going to suck for people who live in Russia, Russian citizens, is it's going to turn into the exact same thing that the same coin for QQ is used in China. Yeah, great. Now the digital yuan, sure, you can use it within the country, but you should never leave the country because you're not going to be able to use that coin anywhere else. And so it's great for inside the country as long as you have natural resources within your own country. You don't have to worry about trading with anyone else. But we already know that global trade is a thing. And global trade can grossly, well, not grossly, it's not necessarily a gross thing, but greatly improve the economy of another country if they can trade. Like right now, 70% roughly of Russia's income comes from them exporting oil and gas to other countries. And then I think the other one was wheat and rice is also exported from Russia to African nations. And if you can't export the very thing that makes you money, your economy is going to shrink. Now, does that mean it's going to disappear? No. But it just means that you're going to have to figure out something else you're going to do in order to make that work. But we already know the value of international trade. And that's the thing that's so weird in this, action that Putin has been doing in Ukraine. It's become more obvious to me from alternative news that I've watched that this is not just about destroying Ukraine. This is really about the oil or the gas pipeline that goes through Ukraine. Almost all of the natural gas and oil that Russia exports to Europe goes through Ukraine. Almost all of it. And Russia doesn't want that. But there's not really much they can do about it, because that's the easiest way to get it out of Russia. Otherwise, you have to truck it out, and that's a lot more expensive. The pipeline's much, much, much easier. And Ukraine was accused of exploiting that pipeline. They weren't, but Russia still accused them of that. And it really comes down to Russia not wanting their source of income to be disrupted. I think that makes sense. But, Putin lied about it by saying, well, it's about freeing Ukraine from oppression. It's an excuse. The thing that I learned about this is Putin, albeit the ruthless dictator of Russia, isn't really in control by himself. And it's interesting how the billionaires the oligarchy that is kind of in control of Russia as well, kind of just looks like a secondary player. Like they're not really in control, when in fact they are really in control. He's just the puppet figurehead. And that was realizing that kind of political play that they pushed him, boosted Putin up to make him look like he's the Führer, the ruler of all, and he had complete hegemonist control of Russia, is not true. If the billionaires that control Russia decided they didn't want Putin anymore, he'd be gone. So the billionaires are the ones who are really concerned about their money getting back to them via that pipeline.
Once again, you're talking about the people that are holding the money, power.
The people who actually have the money. Not to say that Putin doesn't have money, but he's more of a figurehead for money than he is the actual money holder. He's not he is a billionaire, but he's not a billionaire because of his own things. He's a billionaire because these other billionaires made it possible for him to be that position.
These people that we're talking about is the people that are sitting on the board at the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, some of them are, yeah. But what I basically
watch the video.
No, I know. Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is this: digital ruble thing is that it's in their interest to hold the people, in this coin idea, because it makes it easier for them to transfer their money, and it makes it easier for them to control the populace, and it makes it easier for them to get money. And that's really how this works. And that's the thing that's so weird about how this happened, is it makes it feel like the billionaires were really short-sighted. They were concerned about where their money came from, but they weren't really thinking about the world factor. Like, you've got all these other people, and you might think you know how everyone else works. Not technically how everyone else works. There's still people out there who are actually moralistic. And those moralistic people will not agree with you when you try to attack another country. So, like, we're trying to do this fair. We're trying to make sure that everybody has the right to life, which is literally the liberal ideal that the United States has, even if it's not 100% liberal. That is, everyone in the world has the right to live and right to their own life. And when you disagree with that, you're basically a Russian oligarch. I mean, they themselves, as individuals, believe that they have the right to life, so why doesn't everyone else have the right to life? So, it's a weird conflict, and obviously not everyone holds the same perspective. So, I don't believe that the Russian ruble is a good idea for anyone, including Russians. Anyways, do we have any other news we want to talk about, or are we going to wrap this up?
That should do it.
Cool. All right. Well, if you guys have made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you. And if you could appreciate us by giving us a like on the YouTube video and or subscribe, hit the notification bell. We post every Wednesday and Sunday. You can always catch us on Discord, Twitter, and help us out by contributing to our Patreon and or donating in the formats of multiple digital currencies, all of which you can find in the CoinTree link in the description below. And if that's all we got for today, let me pull this back up here. And you want to do the outro, or do you want me to do it?
All right. Until next time, Cryptonauts, stack sats, and hodl. Adios.